never slack or back up on my dream. All these rings got me feeling like I can. Bustin' moves, had to hit them with the screens. Jump away, that's a stream. See us mobbing, 116. Ain't no way I'll ever let you in between. Cause what you say ain't what you mean, ain't what you mean.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those who are new, welcome. It's so good to see you. For those who have been here,
What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up?
Anyway, so yeah. Today what I want to do is just sit down. Of course, I'm at work, so I have to try to get this done during my planning block because there's just never enough time. But I wanted to do a little sit down of where the heck I am. So interesting. That's the first thing we're gonna introduce. Where am I? You're at work, but it looks like a classroom. That's because it is. So for those who do not know, I am now a high school chemistry teacher at one of the local high schools around my area. And to say the least, it's been a very interesting experience. For one, I love the students, absolutely, but teaching is not what I thought it would be. I really thought, honestly, it was gonna be something where I just walk into the classroom, teach what I have to teach, you know. I figured that I was gonna have to be some type of motivator to a student or two, or, you know, yeah, it's just not the same. I graduated from a magnet school, and I do not teach at a magnet school. So the whole mindset of children is completely different, as well as the approach that many like administrators may have and everything, that is also different. So it's just a couple of things to balance, but neither here. So the last time you guys saw me, I believe I put out when I went to a conference, and of course that was last year. It's January the 14th today. So yeah, that was in November. And before that, you saw that I went to a conference in the summertime. So of course, as you can tell, I have graduated already with my post-bac program that I've done. And now I'm in like an official gap year where I'm not doing any classes. So what I currently am doing, my goal is to teach for about 2 years. So this will be my first semester down, and I'm on my second semester of my first year. I'm planning this semester to study for my MCAT, and that's where the stress comes from, because my goal was to be studying for my MCAT starting in October, and I want to take it in March. I was trying so hard to stay afloat and not drown and figure out the whole realm of education and teaching that I had zero time. Like when I tell you the first day of school, I was so tired. I was sitting at my parents' house. I was on the swing just outside, just like, oh, trying to enjoy the day. I was knocked out. My mother came out there and was like, hey, are you okay? Mouth all wide open, just real weak, looking real weak. But that one day just kind of explains the whole semester for me. As time progressed, of course, I got a whole lot better. So now I can go home, get some work done, but some days are more exhausting than others. So what I have learned so far is understanding that I am not Superwoman. I cannot save everyone, and because everyone does not want to be saved. So learning that I'm basically gonna go hard for people no matter what. But I know some students at the end of the day will never, how should I say it? You know what? Okay, someone told me with the teaching profession, it's so stressful sometimes because you never see the benefits until years later. So I won't always see how I'm making sure to stay on the student, making sure the student has their job done or their work done, everything turned in. I'm not gonna see the benefits until they have probably graduated. When they're just like, man, she has really helped me out, and this is why I'm better because of this. So that's on top of that. But as far as what exactly I'm doing and my goals and approaches with life, so I already explained that my plan was to teach for 2 years, because this first year I wanted to take this year as me preparing for the MCAT and getting my resume and my application kind of ready before the application opens. So from the information that I received, I believe this year opens up May 1st. So last year was the first year that it opened up May 1st, and everything opened. It used to open where it was like May 1st, but then they'll allow you up until June 1st to go through the application, look at everything, then submit the first day on June 1st. Now they change it to where it opens and you submit on May 1st. And being a post-bac student or a non-traditional student, I have received a lot of advice to where it's important to just get my application in early rather than on time, because I would enter a whole different pool. So it's not that it's easier to get accepted, but you have a better chance of being seen before everyone else who already have high score for their MCAT and high GPA. You'll be in that mix if you kind of wait a little later. So I have not taken my MCAT at all. So that kind of puts me in a decent advantage, which means I have to really, really, really go hard this first time so that I can go ahead and put in my application, and that way I won't have to worry about the MCAT at all. So I'm going to try to shoot for that. I have a certain percentile that I want. I'm going to pray, do what I have to do, and try to see and achieve to get to that position. Other than that, I possibly will be applying to some either summer programs, or I might apply to some summer research. I think there's like a research that they have kind of going on for my district or the area, and I'm gonna see if I can possibly receive that admissions to, I guess, the research opportunity. It's for teachers, but it would look great because I'll be able to bring it back to the classroom, but I'm also experiencing that for medical school as well. So that's something that I'm hoping to apply for, which means I need to get that done like today, just to make sure I can start applying and finishing. Dang, that bell's long. Anyway, just so I can start applying and finishing up everything. And what else is there for me to update you on? I feel like this is a pretty short update. That's pretty much where I have been. Teaching has just sucked all of the life out of me. I always appreciated teachers. My sister's a teacher, but you cannot appreciate something until you've experienced it, and I feel like the same would apply for being a doctor. Everyone wants to be a doctor because they feel like, oh, it's great, it's so prestigious, but you probably won't be able to relate until you've been in it, and I feel that way with teaching. Teaching, man, there are so many. Teaching just should have such a more credible type of status. I feel like they should get paid more, and it's not even just because I'm a teacher, because of course I don't want to do this forever, but man, appreciate all teachers. And you know what's crazy? Me being a high school teacher now has helped me kind of take a step back and reevaluate how I have been as an undergraduate student. And I'm like, ooh, I could have changed my whole life. If I would have experienced this a long time ago, my whole life would have just been changed. So I feel like it's almost like if I knew then what I know now, life would just been so different. That's what it is. There are so many students that I'm like, if you just do the work, you'll be good. I promise you will be good. And I feel like my mindset on how I would study has completely changed, because being a teacher, I just want to apologize to any professor where if I've ever asked a question and they feel like, really? You don't know this answer? I explained it yesterday. I apologize, because that must have meant that I was not paying attention, because seeing now, I had to repeat myself so much, and I'm just like, if you would just listen the first time or do right the first time, you will not have any issues. It's just, I don't get it, but now I do, so I can't say that. But I feel like this experience is going to help me with dealing with patients and dealing with my own education, because sometimes there will be patients that it may require you to explain the same thing over and over, because they might not either understand it, or sometimes because they're experiencing so many things that they are still in awe or shock that they're have to even go to the doctor, it may take them a little harder time to process it. So it's funny because I didn't realize how much I hated repeating myself until being a teacher, but now I'm just like, it's my natural instinct to just repeat it. Even if I'm showing my dad, for example, something of, I just got a new car, so showing him how to work everything, I'll say it and then I'll repeat it. It's like, you understand? You got it? Okay, now show me that you have it. It's just so funny. So now I want to make sure that I'm appreciative of my different experiences. So I want to use the experience I have seeing from the teacher side. I want to do that for medical school. So my goal is to be very diligent with my MCAT studying, understanding that organization, I've always been organized, but organization is definitely key. That's the reason why I have my students to have binders. So because if you're organized when it's time for a test, everything will be perfectly aligned. All you have to do is just look over everything. It's just so crazy because I feel like I had the ability to be such a stellar student, but there was a disconnect I had at a point. But now there is a reason for me to teach because I feel like that connection has been made now. And so I have a whole different approach on how I want to study or how I want to take into consideration everything. Now, mind you, because it took me a minute to get to this point, now I'm going to have to kind of struggle a little bit more because now I have to balance studying for the MCAT while working 40 hours a week. And because I'm a step team coach, that makes things a little bit harder. So that means I'm going to have to stay after school. Sometimes we have department meetings. But I'm just going to try to still create some type of system. And the hardest thing I've realized with working and trying to do something else is starting. That is my biggest issue that I have, and that's something that I'm working on because I'll know what to do. I have all the materials, have everything laid out, but I just don't want to start because I know I'm a very committed person. So if I'm going to start it, I'm going to go hard the whole time. But I don't want to burn out also. So it's been taking me a minute to start, but today is the day. It's January 14th. I have no choice, no options. I'm starting today. So I want to continue documenting my journey and seeing how that goes, and hopefully it goes well for me. But I know there have been some of my friends now, we're all experiencing the same thing. And I think me documenting me with my struggles and my successes, I feel like it'll serve as motivation because it's like, man, I was right there with you studying for the MCAT, but it might also help inspire someone else. So that's my goal. As far as plans, I plan to bring all of my study material with me to work. I'm not going to work on it at work, but that way, once I'm done with work, it's very close to where my post-bac is, and some of my friends are still attending college there. So I believe this also helps me to do better with seeing them. I am going to start going to the library with them because they're roommates now and they go every day. So on my days, I'll have designated days where I'll be at the library there, and while they're studying for their tests, I'm studying for my MCAT. So that way they're holding me accountable and I'm holding them accountable. So we're just kind of making a network. So sometimes you might need group work and then sometimes you don't. When I'm taking practice tests, of course, it's an individual base, but with them, I've studied with them at post-bac, so I know how we work as a group, and I think we're very good on when someone needs a break. It's like, hey, let's take a 2-minute break. Let's walk around the library real quick, get some giggles out, go get some coffee or something, and then come back. So I think I'm just gonna have to put myself back into the mold of if I'm in college, where as if I have classes all day and then study all night. So just wish me good luck. If anyone has any questions who's viewing this, go ahead and comment down below, or any other avenue if you can feel to ask me questions. Feel free. I believe YouTube has a message center, so if that's a possibility, you can message me on there. If it's a personal question, I don't mind answering any questions, and I will continue documenting just everything that's happening with me up until this process. Last point before I go, I do not have my MCAT paid for yet. I'm still waiting on the date to be available, but I think I'm gonna make a phone call because there is a day open, but it's not in my city, but it's in a city that one of my friend's parents lives in. So we'll see how that works. I'll give you guys some updates, but other than that, thank you so much for viewing this video, and until next time, see you later. Bye.